Algebra 2, we have a warm-up. Remember, this is how we review what we've already learned because we're going to use it in this lesson. So, solve the equation. This is a simple one rational expression equals one rational expression. So the easiest way to solve it is just to cross multiply. 4 times 15 is 60, and then 6x. Solve this for x equals 10. Here, I can't, the only thing I could do to make it easier is to divide by 4, or divide by 5, but that's not divisible, so that's not making my life any easier. So I can go ahead and distribute this, 15x minus 10 and 16x minus 4, and now I can solve it. Just getting your variables on one side of the equal sign and your numbers on the other. That's not right math. There we go. Moving on, here, everything else we've had so far has been an equal sign with two things on each, or one thing on each side. Here we've got an extra added bonus that needs to be dealt with. So I need to distribute x squared minus 4x, distribute 3x minus 12, and then plus x. So let's collect like terms on one side of the equal sign. I have a 3x and an x, which is a 4x. Let's move everything over. Negative 8x. I don't want that. And 12. Okay, move that up here and keep on going. I ran out of space. Alright, now we're set equal to 0. We just need to factor. I know some of you don't like factoring. I'm sorry. I do want two things that multiply to 12 that add to negative 8. 6 times 2 would work, and if I did negative 6 and negative 2, that multiplies to 12 and adds to negative 8. So I get x equals 6 and x equals 2 as the solving. Okay, to solve, here we are. These are the ones you guys hate solving even more. I need two things that multiply to negative 24 and add to 5. Let's see. 2 times 12, 3 times 8. Oh, there we go, 3 times 8. So I have negative 3 times positive 8 multiplies to 24 and adds to 5. Now this is where we factor by grouping. Minus 3x plus 8x minus 12 equals 0. Group the first two, group the last two, factor out the common multiple. So I can take an x out there, and 4, I think. Yeah. I'm left with 2x minus 3 equals 0. So x plus 4, 2x minus 3 equals 0. Alright, so this means we have x equals negative 4, and x equals 3 halves. 2 answers. Not done yet. How much alcohol is there in 30 liters of 45% alcohol solution? I've got 30 liters times 0.45, because if it's 45% alcohol solution, you change that into a decimal and multiply it. And we get 13.5 liters. So if you look, oh, that's a beaker. I should try harder. I have 30 liters of solution here, and it consists of 45% alcohol, and that would be 55%, I don't know, water, something else. So if it's 30 liters, you multiply it by 0.45 and you get 13.5 liters alcohol. And I could actually subtract that from 30 and it's 16.5 liters of water, if that's what it's mixed with. Okay, new stuff, right? You can use cross multiplying to solve a rational equation when each side of the equation is a single rational expression. That's where we have single rational expression, fraction, single rational expression, multiply, and solve. Okay? So single rational expression equals a single rational expression. I can cross multiply and cross multiply. And this is just like the warm-up. Distribute 9x plus 9 and distribute 12x plus 15. Go ahead and solve for x. Okay, and we have x equals 2. Easy peasy. Did some of you guys say lemon squeezy? I know you did. These don't feel as well, but I'm going to go through some ways that you can solve them. They take a little more thought. Don't get scared by the word problem, okay? It's just a math problem. It's nothing special just because there's a bunch of words. An alloy is formed by mixing two or more metals. Sterling silver is an alloy composed of 92.5% silver and 7.5% copper by weight. Jewelry silver is composed of 80% silver and 20% copper by weight. How much pure silver should you mix with 15 ounces of jewelry silver to make sterling silver? All right, so we have a little form that we can do this with. We can do percent of copper. I don't know why that didn't come out. Percent of copper in the mixture equals the weight of copper over the total weight of the mixture. Okay, so the percent of copper in the mixture equals the weight of copper in the mixture over the total weight of the mixture. So let's put some stuff in here. I know that I have 7.5%, where it's 20% copper over the total weight of the mixture. Okay, so X right there is the amount of silver added. So if I go back and look at the problem again, I have 7.5% copper by weight. So this right here is 7.5% copper by weight. It's over 100. So it'd be just as easy to say I have 0.075 equal to the same thing. Both of these are equal ways to start this problem. I've always taught you to change your percentages into decimals, so this might make better sense to you, because that's what we usually do. Okay, so 7.5% copper by weight equals, we have right here, equals the weight of copper in the mixture. So in the mixture, it's 20% copper by weight, and we have 15 ounces of mixture, over total weight of mixture. So 15 ounces is our weight, plus the amount of silver that we add. So now I can cross multiply. Cross multiply, I get 0.075, 15 plus x equals 3. Distribute this. 1.125 plus 0.075x equals 3. Nope, can't do that. It has an x. Silly me. So we're solving for x. 3 minus 1.125, 1.875, sorry, my handwriting, equals 0.075x. So divide both sides by 0.075. 0.075. I get x equals 25. What's that mean, 25? Okay, that is ounces of pure silver should be added. Cool. Guided practice. We can practice a few. Okay, these are a little easier. You can multiply 3 times x minus 7, 2 times 5x, distribute, (7x equals negative 21), divide both sides by 7, I get x equals negative 3. Okay, this should be fun practice for you guys. It's not really much new. Okay, we've done similar things before. Distribute, nope. 5x plus 15 equals negative 4x plus 12. I'm going to add 4x to both sides. 9x, subtract 15 from both sides, equals negative 3. Divide both sides by 9, and I actually get a fraction, negative 1/3. It actually was negative 3/9, and I simplified it to negative 1/3. Okay, last practice. X times 2x plus 5. Get 2x squared. Oh, yuck. This one's a harder one. 11x plus 8. Subtract 11x from both sides. I get 2x squared minus 16x. And then subtract 8 from both sides. Minus 8 equals 0. I can simplify this one, which is nice. Divide everything by 2. And then I can divide both sides by 2. And I just need to solve a trinomial with a equals 1. You know, our ABC form, but a is 1. So it multiplies to negative 4 and adds to negative 8. Nothing. I feel as though I've done something wrong. Right there. Let me show you in red. Okay, this right here should be a positive 5. So if I subtract 11, I get negative 6. So that should be a negative 6x. If I divide by 2, that would be a negative 3. Now I want two things. That would be a 3. Add or multiply to negative 4 and add to negative 3. That's much easier. A negative 4 and a 1. So x minus 4, x plus 1 equals 0. X equals 4 and negative 1. Phew, that was a close call. And the last one, what if in example 2, suppose you have 10 ounces of jewelry silver, how much pure silver should be mixed to the jewelry silver to make sterling silver? So still 0.075 is our percentage of copper, and we want 0.2 times 10 over 10 plus x. Cross multiply. 0.7, sorry, I was doing the math. 0.075 times 10 plus x. So multiply. This would be times 2. So this is 2. And this would be, distribute that through, I get 0.75 and 0.075. Let's subtract that through. 1.25 equals 0.075x. Go ahead and divide that out. I get x is, I don't like that fraction. I don't like that one either. It was 16.66667, which I know is 16 2/3 ounces of pure silver should be mixed in to get sterling silver. All right, we're going to use what we learned in the last section to help us out in this section. When a rational equation is not expressed as a proportion, you can solve it by multiplying each side of the equation by the least common denominator of each rational expression. So we're going to use what we learned in section 5 and make our math much easier here in section 6. What it means is if I have, maybe something like this, I'm going to find my least common denominator and just go ahead and multiply it out front, which will cancel everything out, and I'll be left with just the numerators. Let's see if I can make that make sense to you. So what's the solution of this one? First of all, what is the least common denominator? Looks like I need a 4 and an x. So I can multiply the whole fraction by the least common denominator. And what I'm sort of doing is distributing this through. But what I always do is I say, okay, I have an x, so I just need to multiply the 4 through. So I'm going to say 20. I have a 4, I'm just going to multiply the x through. I have an x, so I'm just going to multiply the 4 through. And that's it. Now I can solve it. But let's do it a different way. You guys are taking notes, so I'm going to erase this. I wish I could have only erased half of that, but that's okay. So let's try this again. My least common denominator is 4 and x. So that one has an x, so I'm just going to multiply by 4. This one has a 4, so I can multiply by x, and this one has an x, so I can multiply by 4. No, let me do this different. Okay, don't worry, I'm not going to confuse you. Here we go. This is good. All right, I don't need the x. I've got 20 left. I don't need the 4. I have 7x. See, this feels good, doesn't it? Negative 36. Cool. Now I can go ahead and solve. Minus 20, I get negative 56. 7x, divide by 7. Oh, that's a 6, sorry. X equals negative 8. Woohoo! Not a big deal. Could just be getting a little harder. My least common denominator needs an x and an x minus 5. So I can multiply, I'm going to rewrite this to have more room. Okay, so I can multiply this first one by x times x minus 5. X minus 5. X minus 5. So the first term has neither one of those, so I need to keep them both. Okay, the second one, it's got that, so I just need the x. And that last one, I need the x minus 5. Distribute x squared minus 5x minus 8. I just found my mistake. Sorry, I actually had to rewind and fix this one. This is 8x. First time I did this problem, I just wrote 8. And I was way off on my solution. All right, collect like terms. X squared minus 13x equals 3x minus 15. Still collecting like terms. So that gets rid of that, and then add 15. I get x squared minus 16x plus 15 equals 0. Okay, factor x minus 1, x minus 15 equals 0, therefore x equals 1, or x equals 15. Now with these, I've got two solutions, and everything's great. I always want to go back here, let me get a different color, and check my denominators, because we've learned that we can't have 0 in the denominator. So we can actually say that x cannot equal 5, because that would make that 0, and x cannot equal 0. Go back to our solutions, and we are A-okay. Extraneous solutions, this word right here, extra. Not all solutions are real. Solutions actually work. I guess I don't use the word real because real means a different thing in math. Okay, but not all solutions actually work. So let's try one. Wow, so much stuff. Let's find our least common denominator. X plus 3, x minus 3. So my least common denominator is x plus 3, x minus 3. Rewrite this, 6 over x minus 3. I actually need an x plus 3. I mean, really, I'm multiplying it by this, but one's going to cancel. That equals 8x squared over x plus 3, x minus 3. Good there. So I'm multiplying by the same thing. You'll see why it works. 4x over x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 3, x minus 3. Cancel those. I'm left with 6, x plus 3. Cancel those. Pretty sweet. That one's good. Minus 4x, x minus 3. Distribute. Remember that negative when you distribute. Minus 4x squared plus 12x. Okay, let's collect like terms. I'm going to move that negative 4x squared to the other side to make it positive. Because my leading term, I really don't like that negative. Oh, no, I'm not. Psych. Just kidding. I'm collecting like terms. That right there gives me 4x squared plus 12x equals 6x plus 18. Let's move this stuff over here, right? Minus 18, minus 18. Looks like I can factor out a 2. Why don't we do that and make our number smaller? So I'm going to factor out a 2. 0 equals 2 times 2x squared minus 3x minus 9. So I need, and then I'm divide both sides by 2. Two things that multiply to negative 9 and add to negative 3. I got nothing. Huh, did I make another mistake? Looking over my work. Hmm. 4x squared minus 6x minus 18. Yep, divide everything. Looks like, oh, silly me. Sorry, I see my mistake now. I hope you guys saw it before me, because that's always cool, no lie. I need two things that multiply to negative 18 and add to negative 3. Haha. I think 6 times 3, if that were negative 6 and a positive 3, I'd have 2x squared minus 6x plus 3x. I'm going to factor by grouping. Okay, group the first two, group the last two. I take out a 2x and I get x minus 3. And take out a 3 and I get x minus 3. So 2x plus 3 and x minus 3. And I need a new page. Two x minus 3 and x plus 3 equals 0. Solve. X equals 3/2. X equals -3. Okay, we could have an extraneous solution. I usually go back to the original problem as one way to check and look at all the denominators. What can x not equal? Because it would give us 0. X can't equal 3 and x can't equal -3. Well, here we have a -3. Therefore, this should be our only real answer. So you can either do this to check your solutions, or you can go back to the answers you got and plug them in to see if you get any issues or any zeros. Okay? So 3/2 is the only solution that actually works. Okay? Because we do not want to divide by 0 because the world explodes or implodes and Cookie Monster doesn't have any friends. So a few more practice. Let's see, what color pen am I in? Okay. My LCD for this one is a 2 and an x. So I'm going to multiply each one by a 2 and an x and have some things cancel out. So the 2 is gone. I get 7x. The x is gone. I've got a 6. And you have to keep all that. So that gives me a 6x. Okay, minus 6x, x minus 6 minus 6, x equals -6. Go back and look at your denominators and make sure they work, and here they do. All right, my LCD, gosh, I can't spell, that should be an L, a C, and a D. LCD is 3 times x. So I can multiply that by 3x. Multiply that by 3x, and multiply that by 3x. Here, my x's are going to cancel. I've got a 6. My 3's are going to cancel. I have a 4x. And nothing will cancel. I'll get a 6x. Yep, 2x equals 6. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 3. Last one, my LCD is 7x. So multiply by 7x. Cancel what I don't need. A 7. I have 3x left over. 56 and 7x. 4x equals 56. Divide by 4. X equals 14. Sweet. Okay, here we might have some extraneous solutions or no solutions. My LCD is 2 times x minus 1. Usually I rewrite these, because I need more space. But I don't have enough space as it is, right? This first one has the 2's, so I have 3x minus 1. X minus 1's 2. And x minus 1's 2x plus 1. Go ahead and distribute. Collect like terms. And solve. Subtract 2x from both sides. I get x equals 2. That was fun. I found a mistake. Oh gosh. Let's see, green. I didn't distribute that right. That should be a 2. So that should be a 2. So this should be a 3. Sorry. All right, what's my LCD for number 9? Looks like I need a 2x and an x plus 1. All right, I'm out of space, so see if we can do this without writing it down. I lose my x plus 1, I'm left with a 2x. I lose the x plus 2, I'm left with an x plus 1. I lose the x plus 2, and I'm left with an x plus 1. Distribute and multiply. 6x squared minus 5x minus 5 equals 3x plus 3. All right, I need more space, so I got a new sheet of paper. And there it is. Collect like terms. 6x squared is staying there. Minus 8x. Minus 8. I can divide everything by 2. I have 3x squared minus 4x minus 4 equals 0. Remember when we do that, I've got a 2 out there, but it just divides out. Essentially goes away, right? All right, so I need two things that multiply to negative 12 and add to negative 4. I think 6 times 2. If I have negative 6 times negative 2, I get negative 4. Here's where I've got to factor by grouping. So minus 6x plus 2x minus 4 equals 0. First 2, last 2. Factor out of 3x. I'm left with x minus 2. Factor out of 2, x minus 2. So 3x plus 2 and x minus 2. So x equals negative 2/3 or 2. Okay, we have to go back and check our original problem. Be right back. My original problem was, I had to go find it, 3x over x plus 1 minus 5 over 2x equals 3 over 2x. So what can x not equal? X can't equal negative 1 and x can't equal 0. So both of those work because they're not negative 1 or 0. So there are no extraneous solutions. My LCD is x minus 2. So I can cancel that out. I'm left with 5x. I don't have that one. And I can cancel that out. So go ahead and distribute. 7x minus 14. Subtract 5x from both sides. This right here gives me negative 4, so add 4 to both sides. X equals 2. Check to make sure they work. If you look at the original problem, look at the denominators, it looks like x can't equal 2. So in this case, we say there is no solution because I got x equals 2, yet x can't equal 2. So that right there is my final answer. All right, example 6. This is the last example we're going to go through. Video game sales from 1995 to 2003, the annual sales S in billions of dollars of entertainment software can be modeled by that really fancy and very complicated equation, where T is the number of years since 95. For which year were the total sales of entertainment software about 5.3 billion? So that's that value right there. So 5.3 equals 848 T squared plus 3220 over 115 T squared plus 1000. So we're trying to solve for T, time. Okay? Here, it's a simple one. We can cross multiply. 5.3 times all of that equals 1 times all of that. Okay, go ahead and distribute the 5.3. I get 609.5. And we've got this over here. I'm going to need a new page. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to copy that over. All right, let's solve. I'm going to move the smaller number over. I get 848 minus 609.5. That leaves me with 238.5 t squared. Subtract this over. Divide both sides. I have 8.72 equals t squared. Square to both sides. I get t equals 2.95. It's pretty close. You actually should get positive and negative, but if you look at the beginning of the problem, your time has to be in between 0 and 8, and the negative doesn't work. So we can say time is approximately positive 2.95 years. Actually, it's asking for years since. So 3 years after 1995 would be 1998. So that's the final answer they're looking for. What if? Use the information example 6 to determine which year the total sales was 4.5 billion. We would do the same thing. I'm not going to go through the work because I know you guys know how to do this. We'd set up the same equation. Except you got to get the equation right. There we go. So set that same equation up, cross multiply, and the answer would be 2 years, so 1997. We made it! Daily homework quiz. Woo woo! Last slide. Good job. I hope you had fun.